It's been one week since I got my cat.
It's a dickhole assassin.
You get Bowser's name out of your fucking mouth. Also known as the family computer.
I don't give a shit.
Famicom. And then they fired Gina Carano just for saying what we're
she's
all
not,
thinking.
She's not going down without a fight.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 424. I am your host, as always, John_Danger, joined by my beautiful and lovely co-hosts.
Matt 424 Blaze It Hag.
TJ Tie and Sweatpants May.
And Spanky, born in the episode, works.
Hey, I want to mention a thing, boys.
Yes.
Lauren said that she likes your hair, Matt.
Oh, good.
I just wanted to be like good stuff space and say that she gave you a compliment.
It's
I also like the blue hair.
It's grown out substantially. So when
you look like a Twitch streamer.
Whenever I trim it, I'll have to like do the whole bleaching and dyeing thing again, which is kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can't even, because you don't even have like light hair to begin with, right?
No,
or it's a little light.
It's just standard brown.
Yeah,
just like standard German brown hair.
Love that.
Famous.
I love
the
German
brown
hair.
Yep, that Aryan race brown hair that everyone is.
I like that I said I love Germany, and Spaggy just immediately had to go to the worst chapter of Germany's history.
I mean,
to be fair, there's a lot of bad chapters in German history.
That's true.
I feel like every chapter that's not like 1970, well, no, 1992 plus has been pretty bad.
I'm sure there was like a good period in the late 1800s before World War I. They were all right.
Back when they were Prussia?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know much about that. One thing I do know about is that I did a thing. So you may know that the Office is on the subscription service Peacock now.
The Office,
yeah. And if you're like me, you can't stop watching The Office constantly because it's the only show that anyone watches that's my age.
Fair.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you buy the DVDs and then you rip them to your computer, and then you have your own streaming service that has The Office on it. Because the DVD set was only like, I think $40 or $50 when I bought it from Amazon like a while ago. But I was ripping CDs, and let's just say this motherfucking asshole was like, you know what? I'm not going to read discs anymore. I'm just going to make a bunch of spin-up noises and then be like, there's no disc in here. And then if you go into the task manager and uninstall and reinstall the device, it might read a disc or two, and then it'll just stop. So I did a thing that made me feel like manly and technical, and that is I replaced my internal drive, which is like the easiest thing that you can do on a computer.
Like
actually, the easiest thing you can do is probably a graphics card, because you don't even need a screwdriver usually for that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you don't even need screwdrivers for the drives that just have like,
this one had screws in it here. Well, actually, the easiest thing is probably putting in a new hard drive. Actually, no, because you might not have another SATA cable. You might have to find a new one plugged in. Graphics card's the easiest. It's literally put it in the slot and click it. But you have to touch the motherboard with the graphics card, so that's a little scary. This literally, you see this?
And you have to
unplug you pull these two out,
traces in there.
Slide this out, slide a new one in, and then plug these two in, and you're like, I feel manly. I can build a computer.
If you go back to the Windows XP days, the easiest thing to do was add additional USB slots when you had to put one of those USB cards in.
Oh yeah,
I have a USB card in my computer to add additional USB 3.0 slots. I'll tell you about that. I took my computer. Remember, if you guys remember Computergate?
I remember it.
Episodes of the podcast, like
advocating for ethics and computer journalism.
No, I think I'll tell you, I'm fairly certain that Computergate was pre-Gamergate. So it was just like we were like, remember when we used to make fun of Watergate and call everything Blankgate?
Yeah.
And so, no, that was when I took my computer in because like my fucking graphics card just decided to stop working and it was still under warranty. And then my my motherboard also wasn't working, and I was like, I'm not going to fuck with this. It's like under warranty for parts, so I'll just take it to a shop and they'll like just do all the swapping, and I've got the parts for free. Like they'll just
Did they order 3 motherboards before they got one to work?
3 graphics cards and 2 motherboards. One of the backup motherboards they had was dead on arrival. The second one worked. 2 of the graphics cards were dead on arrival. The third one that they had worked, but it failed very quickly after I got home. But I can replace the graphics card. On
account of you're so manly.
Yeah, and kind of so manly. Honestly, I probably could have done the other work, but like I was like, you know what? I make money. I can take this to a shop. They'll do it. If you remember Computergate, I believe I was without a PC for around 6 or 7 months. It took for them to get this fixed because they had to keep getting parts in, and fucking Cyber Power PC or Power Color, whoever made the fucking graphics card, kept sending out used units that weren't working. So they'd have to like, I would have had to deal with that personally, and that would have really sucked. And so I got to give a shout out to I don't even remember the name of the computer shop that did this. But they only ended up charging me like $200 for like probably replacing a graphics card like and motherboard like 4 times over the course of 6 months. But they did a solid job. They were nice. I left them a really good review. But I got it back, right? And I didn't want to complain because it had been so many months I got my computer. My front 2 audio jacks don't work. I think they must have accidentally disconnected that or something. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to complain. I have a set of speakers that have a built-in headphone jack on the little dongle thing. So it's like I don't even need these anyway. But, and then the other thing was, there was a USB expansion card in my computer that I didn't have before. So the 2 extra USB 3.0. I don't know why they're in there, but they gave it to me. So I was like, whatever. Like, I don't know if they needed those to test some stuff or whatever they were doing, but I was like, all right, whatever. Like, I'll take 2 extra USB 3.0 slots in one of my PCI slots. So, yeah, so I don't know what to do with this. This is just going to go in a big pile of PC junk that I just have that doesn't work, but I just keep for some reason. I should really just throw this away, but I kind of want to keep it.
What you're supposed to do is hook it up to an Arduino and then make sweet music with it.
What? Oh, yeah.
With the little
make the
servo
little
in
noises.
there. Yeah.
The other thing is I could probably like open this up and see if like maybe the laser is like dirty or something, and maybe that's why it wasn't reading discs. But it also, I would boot up the computer sometimes and it would be like, you don't have a CD drive. I'd be like, why? And I would have to like go in the device manager and hit the detect hardware, and it would be like, oh yeah, here it is. I'm like, all right, well, so something was wrong with this thing. And I went on the good old Amazon and bought a used Asus DVD writer for $14. And so I was like, you know what? These are cheap as shit.
Yeah.
And I've been happily making my Office collection bigger. But I'm actually not ripping these though to the PC because that would be against the terms of use or copyright law probably.
No,
I'm just watching the
Plex
DVD
server. You know.
Yeah, my Plex server is hooked up to the CD drive, and then it spins this, and I watch it off that on my TV. Yeah, that's how.
Oh, of course.
I'm
it's a
definitely
really
not
long
copies.
extension cord, and then your Plex server is in Sweden.
Exactly. I keep it in Sweden.
I have a cat that has suddenly decided that he wants to be involved in this podcast.
I see him.
Is that
That's
Finn?
Finn. Yeah.
Hi,
You
Finn.
you know it's Finn because he won't fucking calm down and just lay like a cat. He has
He
to
just keeps
pace.
standing.
Yeah.
That is the
He's
exact way that Steve is.
He's like
It will not sit still.
very
It'll just
neurotic.
stand.
One thing that's been so
Yeah, that's a good
I'm on-
segue.
I'm on 1 week now exactly.
It's
since
been
I,
1 week.
It's been
Yeah.
1 week since I got my cat. And so the saga of Mike and May, which I am chronicling on the Discord a little bit as time goes on.
What is the Discord link?
Discord.bornintheeighties.info.
Is that really it?
No.
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 Oh, I thought we had one, didn't we?
It's
Born in the
Discord.bornintheeighties.net.
There you
yeah.
go.
Go to
I
that.
don't know what the domain, like the top level domain is for our website, so I just threw on info.
Born in the 80s.net.
Born
It's
info.
.com.
Bornintheeighties.net.com.
Last week, I believe we recorded on a Monday, and I got her on a Sunday. And on that Sunday, Maik basically hid the entire day. In part because like my mom came by with her dog as well, something I told her explicitly to not do.
Yeah.
But she was like, "But it was cold, and I didn't want him to get lonely. Like, could you keep him inside?
What kind of a monster would leave their dog behind in the cold?
I know." And I'm like, "Could you leave him?" I'm like, "Has he ever gone to the bathroom inside before?" And she was like, "No, never." And I'm like, "And you've been here, you're gonna be gone for 4 hours, and you can't just fucking leave." But anyway, so he was scared because of the dog. And then throughout the course of the week, we've progressed from the first day that I introduced the smell to Maik was I went and I pet my new kitten. Her name is May. A whole bunch and played with her. And then I went up to Maik and let him sniff my hand, which was met by a very angry growl and then hiss at my hand. That video is on Discord. And now we're at the part where they're playing with each other. The problem that I'm having at this moment is that May is tiny. She's about under 2 pounds. I don't know how old she is.
Even for a kitten, she's tiny.
She's tiny. Like she's not going to be a big cat when she gets old, basically. And Maik is 12 pounds of pure angry cat a lot of the time. And he doesn't realize that he is literally over 10 times the size of this cat that I have. And he's like, "Oh, cool. I'm finally not pissed off at her all the time. I want to play." So he'll just like start swiping as hard as he can at her face, and she'll just start hissing and growling and running away. So I'm trying to like just introduce them to playing after I've tired Maik out a little bit. So like I'll play with Maik for a little while and let him like bite the shit out of my hand and stuff. And then I try to get them to play with each other after he's a little bit tired. It has last night when we were doing a raid in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. I just heard a loud cat screech, and I had to like run out and see what was going on. And weirdly, it was Maik who made the noise and ran under my bed. And I don't know what had happened. I think it was probably Maik had decided to sleep on the recliner, and May just jumped on him while he was asleep and startled him. But so round one of the kitten wars goes to May, apparently. And that's been fun. But she is adorable. She's a tortoiseshell kitten, and she has a lot of energy. And she likes to climb up my leg with her claws, which is upsetting. But I have missed having a kitten. I love kittens, and I haven't fostered a kitten or even had a kitten in like 6 or 7 years. So it's been nice to have a kitten.
And when are you going to get your third kitten?
My third kitten will be after May is old. Like
I don't know. Maid. It kind of seems like there's another kitten out there that could use a home. So
yeah.
I mean,
if you're talking about the tabby kitten that was in the picture of what I sent with May, that's her litter mate. It's already been rehomed. Like,
all right, fine.
That one is no longer to get. But I think I may end up. I think I may end up with 3 cats eventually, but I don't want 2 of them to be kittens at the same time. So like, as like a year old, I might get a third kitten. May, don't eat that. Come here, give that to me. No.
Is it a cable?
No, it was the ear off of a toy mouse that I got her. And she was trying to consume it.
My cats eat stuff all the time like that.
Yeah, so she has this bad habit of just like, there's something on the floor. I should put that in my mouth and swallow.
Yeah.
And I'm I'm worried that she's going to eat something that she should not eat. But
My experience with cats is if they eat something they should not eat, they throw it up onto not the floor, but something more important that's on the floor than the floor,
or like your bed or a pile of clothes.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll jump up on the bed.
My experience is that they throw it up onto my bath mat.
Mm.
The rug in my bathroom is just the perfect texture for vomiting on or peeing on if you're Mike whenever he had his urinary tract issues. Like the only place that was comfortable enough for him to use the bathroom whenever he finally could was that rug. So that rug has been in the washing machine about 1 million times. It's still kind of just a tiny bit will smell like cat pee if you get right into it, but I think that's molecularly like changed the structure of the bath mat and I can't get it.
That's probably the way it is. There's not much you can do after that point.
The pee rewrites the bath mat.
Yeah. It's basically like it's like the retro or the messenger RNA version.
Yeah.
So it's like the cat piss vaccine for my bath mat.
It's rewritten the fibers to just have cat urine DNA.
Yeah, it permanently has the cat urine spike or whatever it's called, like
spike
the virus
protein.
Spike protein. Yeah,
cat urine.
Cat urine spike protein.
Exactly.
Sounds delicious.
So there was a Nintendo Direct this week that I think DJ wants to talk about.
Yeah.
What?
I was too busy listening to cat pee.
Speaking of cat pee,
so
how's your
Direct
rocks piston?
Oh, wait, cats can. I didn't have any rocks.
Oh yeah, you didn't have any rocks to pee out.
No.
Yeah.
You just had to pee out your intestines or something. I don't know. I wasn't really
fair.
paying attention.
Yeah, something like that. All right, who's got a good? You know what? I don't even give a fuck. I'm not gonna look up a good article. I'm just looking.
I got a ticket to Smash.
How about before we get into this, we take a minute to talk about our sponsor this week, Nintendo. You go to nintendo.com/born in the 80s to get 100% off of every Nintendo game. They're all free now.
Yeah.
That's nintendo.com.
Your uncle born in the 80s
the
works at Nintendo. So you can get free games whenever you want, even before they're released. And even the ones that are only available in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Nintendo released a 51-minute Direct this week, which only had 2 bits.
It was a long-ass Direct.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of stuff in there. I mean, I think we got the release.
I don't know if I'd say there was a lot of stuff in there. There certainly was a lot.
I didn't say good. I just said a lot of stuff. I think we got a release date for... Did we get the release date for No More Heroes 3?
I don't give a shit about that.
I don't know what that is.
It's a dickhole assassin with a fake
Travis
lightsaber. Travis Touchdown made out of... he's got a dickhole lightsaber made out of a fucking fluorescent light bulb.
I'm looking it up. I'm on a page. And
then something aliens.
I'm going to go through every fucking thing. Let's go through every fucking thing. August 2021.
Okay.
So I feel like we should start off just like at the very beginning. And usually with these Nintendo Directs, they're like, at the very end, they're like, we got one final thing, like Apple style, one more thing. And it's always someone new is in Smash. And for the past like 15 times, it's been a new fucking Fire Emblem character, anime swords person. And this time they're like opening with it. Like, here we go. Gonna open with it. Gonna come right out the gate. And guess what? Your favorite character that you've been waiting for in Smash for so long is here. Anime boob girl swordsman.
Let's back up just a bit here.
That is the beginning.
People were hyped for. They said that they're going to be a new Smash character, and there were people who were like, it's going to be Crash Bandicoot, or like all these other characters that were getting fucking hyped for. And it was like, actually, Nintendo's just going to do the easy thing and take a fucking Nintendo-owned property and do that.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind that it wasn't... people were like, maybe it's going to be Waluigi.
Maybe it's going to be Darth Vader.
And like the thing about Waluigi in Smash is that it's such a meme now but like in Japan, it's not a meme. And the people who make these games are in Japan, so they don't give a like. If Reggie Nintendo was still in charge, he would get Waluigi and Smash.
Wow.
Now we have Doug Boozer and boo Doug.
Yeah,
Boozer.
more like Doug Loser.
I thought it was Bowser.
No.
Hey, that name's taken. The Nintendo Employees Guild Union makes them have different names now because
you get Bowser's name out of your fucking mouth.
Keep my name out
Don't
of
you
your
fucking
mouth.
Dare.
You
dare talk about
rotten
Bowser
recipe stealing bitch.
Yes, you rotten recipe stealing bitch.
So there was anyway.
So
what I was gonna say was just that I don't mind that it wasn't some like Crash Bandicoot or non-Nintendo property. The only thing that I was like annoyed at was that it's another copycat Roy, Marth, etc., anime swordsman, where like the down special is a counter, and you've seen it a million times before. That's it. That's the only reason I was upset. And like I wouldn't even say upset because I don't play the game enough to call myself upset. I was just like, really, Nintendo? Come on.
Do we know it's going to be the down special, or is it going to pull a? Because when it comes to switching characters, they usually do that with down special. And I know Peach has a neutral special counter, so it might be something like that.
What the fuck?
Maybe
because the character that got announced is actually two characters that swap between each other.
Pyra and Mithra, the famous characters everyone knows and loves.
Yeah,
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Now, this entire video made me want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 again and continue. My journey.
I haven't even started it. I bought it. I just haven't even put it in my system.
It's a JRPG. It's got the combat's more actiony. It's like Final Fantasy 15, where it's running around doing shit. So
we did, TJ, I don't know if we answered this or not. We did get a release date for No More Heroes 3, whatever that is.
I did answer
August 27th.
I did say that earlier.
Okay, well, I
wasn't
listening
too busy
for whatever reason,
over Pyra.
Just ogling those boob physics.
I don't know what No More Heroes is, and I can't, like, as soon as someone says it, I just stop listening.
I see.
Fair.
We also got announced Star Wars Hunters, which is some, like, game made by Zynga.
Oh yeah, this new Star Wars IP being announced, and it was like made by Zynga. Also, will be on phones probably.
Remember whenever Zynga did like Mafia Wars MySpace games and shit?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what they still are in my mind. We had a new game from Annapurna Interactive called Neon White, which was that like card battling.
Oh
game.
Yeah,
that looks interesting.
Kind of interesting, especially as like a Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories fan. I don't know how it was. The only thing I remember from it, like strongly, was that it gave me motion sickness, and I don't even usually get motion sick from first-person games. But I was just like, ugh, after I watched.
I just want to read this sentence here: "Become an assassin of demons in heaven, and this first-person card battler." What the fuck is that? First person card battler?
It's like a Gambit game.
Yeah.
It's
throwing cards like
it's Metal Gear Acid. It's Kingdom Hearts Chain of
Metal
Memories.
Gear Acid wasn't even first person. That was third person.
I know.
Yeah.
They're just going crazy on this.
Then they announced DC Superhero Girls Teen Power.
You're wrong. It's DC Superhero Girls Teen Power.
That's what I said.
Let's roll it back. Coming out June 4th, 2021. I don't even know what the fuck that is, and I do not care.
Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville.
Yep,
which is a re-release of some game that came out 3 years ago.
Yeah, the re-release of the like Garden Warfare 2 sequel.
The original Plants vs. Zombies came out like 15 years ago.
Well, this is the first-person shooter. Or third-person shooter.
Third-person shooter, yep.
So in like 2012 or so, they made a game called Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, which was a like first-person shooter with like the gimmick that you're Plants vs. Zombies characters. And
it was actually really fun.
It was actually a fun game.
Kind of like Gears of War.
That was like Battle for Neighborville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then at the end, the plants and the zombies are like, let's just team up, and then you have Last of
Kill
Us.
all humans.
Then we've got Miitopia.
Speaking of zombies,
Sorry, I think mine's a different order than they actually announced them in this Washington Post article I'm looking at.
WAPO. Now, I was going to talk about Stubbs the Zombie getting a re-release.
Oh yeah, Stubbs the Zombie.
Everybody was clamoring for Stubbs the Zombie remake.
That's not even in this WAPO article.
I would like to mention that the Stubbs the Zombie game, I think, was that an original Xbox game?
Original Xbox, yeah.
And I will tell you, watching the trailer, I do not think they did any upresing of the graphics at all. I think it is a
I doubt it.
port.
Yeah, it came
They're not
out,
even calling it like HD or
not only that, but they've already ported this game to PS4 and Xbox One. So it's like not even Switch exclusive. It's going to be on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One in March for all of them.
The Verge says Xbox cult classic Stubbs the Zombie. I really don't think that was a cult classic. I think people would have had to have played it for.
I mean, that's just
classic.
their way of saying it wasn't actually popular.
Well, like, so the idea is that you play a zombie and you're like killing humans and eating their brains and stuff.
Yeah,
Like that's the game.
I remember it being kind of fun. Like,
Yeah.
I like my friend who had an Xbox had it, and I played it, and I thought it was fun. I don't remember it being like a game I fondly, reminisce and am nostalgic for, but it was fun.
Wait, here we go. The announcement is good news because Stubbs the Zombie was one of the rarest games to own on the original Xbox. The game was made digitally available on the Xbox 360 in 2008 as an Xbox Originals title, so you could buy it. But then the game pulled it from the marketplace in late 2012, and it has not been there since. So there's some fucking licensing dispute there, and whoever the fuck bought it was like, you know what? Let's make you buy it again.
I mean, I guess it's good that it's like got an avenue to be like you could buy it on different platforms now, and not like have to go to GameStop or GameStop probably doesn't do it anymore, but like eBay and pay like $130 for this shitty ass game.
It's I mean, whatever. If you're into that, I just think it's like just a real port.
We got announced. It's weird that this WAPO does not have everything in here. But we thought we were going to hear some news about Breath of the Wild 2. And when I say we thought, I mean the internet thought. I, as someone who works in software and knows what the like rush to transition to work from home was like, new. Like, that's the thing. Everyone's like, we've been waiting for so long and they showed us nothing. It's like, but they had a pandemic too. Like, it's not like they were going full force for this entire time and a different planet secluded away from the global pandemic going, to surprise us with Nintendo goodies. But they still did get something that was dear to my heart, which is I am like the only person I know who likes Skyward Sword. And like, I don't defend it. Everyone who has problems with it has legitimate problems with it. Like, it's not a polished Nintendo product like you would imagine. But I do think it's fun. I do like the art style, and the music is amazing in that game. So it's nice that it'll be able to be played by people without the weird Wii Motion Plus controls, because they have added the option now that this console has a right stick, which the Wii did not have, to do that motion slicing shit with just the right stick rather than having to do it with the Joy-Con or Wiimote.
If I do get this game, I'm just nervous about taking down those stupid what are those large black things with the toes?
Whoa.
Hey, come on.
Well, so they were called what were they called? Chaos?
No. That's...
Oh no, it's Chow's. Chow Garden.
No. It's where Ganon came from. Oh, I forgot it was its name.
Oh, he came from Cuba.
He came from a lab in Wuhan.
Demise. They were Demise. It's Demise.
That's not what I'm thinking of. It's those
it was Demise, and you had like he would escape from his pit, and he would like chase you, and you'd have to hit him with the toes, just shove him back in the pit.
Zelda things with toes. Come on, Google or Bing. Sorry.
Toes.
is a fictional character and the main
Rule
antagonist of Nintendo's Legend of
34.
Zelda video game series.
The
imprisoned.
In his
Yes.
Gerudo humanoid form, he's known as Ganondorf and is the final boss in many Zelda titles.
I tried to look for
because-
the thing that you were talking about. I just found a bunch of Princess Zelda feet pics.
Okay, cool. I'll link those to the Discord, and we'll get the
damn,
views
she's thick.
rolling in. But no, I've only fought
yeah.
the imprisoned in Hyrule Warriors, so I don't know how the battles work in game.
So, yeah. So they were like, we're going to make Skyward Sword HD, which is cool because, I mean, I think Skyward Sword, I think Spank and I were talking about this when we watched the direct. It was like, I really like the art style of that game. And I like the setting, you know, of the flying around and going between islands and stuff, sky islands, and lots of cool shit in that game. Like,
Skyloft is cool, and you
Yeah,
you get your typical high school bully right at the beginning of the game.
yeah, it's
Groose is
interesting.
awesome.
Yeah, Groose is a great character. And so I like a lot about this game. But yes, the one thing that was annoying is that it was like you had to have motion plus sword swinging. The other thing that's annoying is a character known as FE or Fee. And F is whatever.
FI.
FI, whatever it is. She was like, remember, listen.
Oh, Navi?
Yeah, what if
Hey,
that,
listen!
what if
Navi,
that
listen.
but instead of an annoying
What if-
noise, it actually stops gameplay and gives you a text box?
More than that. What if that, but like constant? I mean, like literally, you would walk into a fucking room in a dungeon and be like, all right, let's get started. And Fee would be like, hey, guess what? There's a treasure chest over there. You should go and hit the A button on it. And it's like, I fucking play games. I know what I'm supposed to do. And then you get over there, you hit the button, and it'll open and she'll be like, guess what? This is a treasure chest. And there's treasures inside of this chest. So you should look for these when you go around. It's just like, it's the most insane over tutorializing in any game I've ever seen.
Remember to take a
tutorial
break
is like-
every hour of gameplay.
It's just insanity, and they didn't announce anything about that. I really hope that they're going to say they fundamentally change at least the gameplay to the point where you can have a expert mode or something where you can just have her prompts like turn off, basically, because it is stupid how much
So
she
the
interrupts
one
the
thing that
gameplay.
makes me think that they might actually make some of these changes is that whenever they released Wind Waker HD, they made two very big changes to the game that made it more playable. One of them was they introduced the Swift Sail, which makes you sail faster.
No, I think the Swift Sail was in the game, but I think you
No, it
didn't
wasn't.
get it till way later.
Nope, it was not in the game.
Okay.
And the second thing was for whenever you're collecting the Triforce shards, basically some of them you have to dig up a map and then go take that map to Tingle and then have Tingle translate the map and then go get the shard.
Yep.
The problem with that was you had to pay Tingle like 600 rupees. And the biggest wallet you could have at that point in the game was 999 rupees. So like you'd have to like get a map, farm rupees, and then go and do Tingle and then do that and then like repeat the process a million times. This time they changed it where there's like only a few charts and the rest of them you get the Triforce piece just from where you would normally have gotten the chart. So it made that part of the game way less tedious. So since they made those changes for Wind Waker HD and they were really good quality of life improvements, I'm hoping that they will make similar changes to Skyward Sword where like either there's a mode or they tone down the tutorializing of Fee or at least like have her be more like Navi where instead of actually stopping gameplay and popping up in front of you, it just gives you like a notification where you can like opt into that. Like, I hope they'll do that because they have done, game-changing stuff to Wind Waker HD when they get it.
So, TJ, are you ready to get some more Joy-Cons?
No, I'm not getting those.
Zelda Joy-Cons look amazing. I need those.
Yeah, so they have two Skyward Sword Zelda Joy-Cons that they're looking at.
Right Joy-Con's Master Sword, the left Joy-Con is the
shield.
The Hylian shield.
Yeah, they look sick.
I pronounce it wrong. It is Hylian.
Okay, so we got to talk about stuff that is also interesting, but still probably really far out. Splatoon 2.
3.
Splatoon 3.
3, sorry, Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
They even said this is going to be 2022.
Yep.
But Inkling in a desert headed to a new city called the Splatlands. There's a bow weapon. Lots of custom. I really hope. My hope is that they expand on Splatoon because I like Splatoon 2, but I feel like it got pretty not old, but like I feel like I got my fill of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, one thing that I wish they would do, and what I kind of got the vibe from at the beginning, but they turned it around and just made it Splatoon 3, was I want a Splatoon spin-off. Like, I want a game that's like set in the world of Splatoon where I can play as an Inkling, but it's like a shooter platformer Ratchet and Clank style or something. Like, I want a Splatoon adventure game or something like that. Just a spin-off in the sense of like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, where it's like they might never make a sequel to it. It might be its own thing. But I want one because I love Splatoon and the art style and the music and like the shooting and the paint and everything. I think it's fun. But like it's multiplayer, like matchmaking shooter, like, and I don't super love playing that.
I mean, I enjoyed that. I felt like there just wasn't enough modes to keep me interested playing, as well as like I feel like the character unlock progression wasn't like satisfying enough to keep me going. You know, like a Call of Duty, you know, with the leveling system keeps you wanting to keep, I didn't feel like the Splatoon one grabbed me as much with that. Like, maybe it was because like a lot of those rewards were tied to like a weekly updating shop. You know, so you'd have to like if I really wanted to sit down on a weekend and blast through some Splatoon like 2 and have fun, it would be like, well, I got the 2 maps that are open today. And, you know, like, it's just like, they had like a system where they're like, we want to spread out the content in this game, you know, to keep people coming back. But it also meant like, I don't know, it was like, I'm not going to log in every week. For Splatoon.
Something that I liked about that I like about Splatoon is that like I've always been bad at multiplayer shooters. Like I was bad at Halo, and I played that a lot in high school, and then in college I played Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. And I've always been just fucking dog shit at them. Like I can't play them. I suck. I just have no game awareness when I play those kinds of games. And in Splatoon, you kind of don't have to. Like, it's kind of not as bad as Mario Kart, but it's kind of designed where, like, if you spend like 3 minutes using your weapon in like the test course, so that you know how it works, and then you point it at bad guys, you'll probably get some. You know, you won't top the leaderboards, but you'll probably do good things. Like you won't just like every time I play Battlefield, I'll just get sniped a million times, and my kill death ratio will be like 1 in 15.
Yeah, I like Splatoon. I'm looking forward to them doing more, and I'll definitely probably be buying it. Let's talk about another game I think we're all looking forward to. Mario Golf Super Rush.
Hell yeah. This was by far the highlight of the Direct for me.
I love the Mario Golfs. I really
June 25th.
do. One of the reasons I brought my GameCube back down here is just so I could play Toadstool Tour again.
Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of golf
it's
games.
The first Mario Golf game for a console that people bought and used the online for that will have online. Like, I'll be able to play Mario Golf with you guys or anyone. And the new modes they added, one of the ones they showed off was like the speed golf. And that looks awesome because it's very much like in between shots and like there's no pausing or anything. It's just like you've hit, you've teed off, now run to your ball, and like Mario Kart style, you got power up.
It's very inspired by the newest release of Everybody's Golf. So,
well, and
in that respect.
And whatever that was, the 40,000 pound giant robot golf or whatever, where it's
that's right.
Same idea where you're like fighting the other people as you get to your ball to do shots and stuff. So I think that'll be really fun, like multiplayer, and add a new thing to golf. It says they also have a story mode, which is really cool because I know, and you can play as your little me. So I think that's cool too because I always like the story modes in those games and like kind of building up and leveling up like RPG story, kind of your character.
Like in that Mario Golf game.
Yes,
Mario Golf Advanced Tour had a great
I was about
one.
to say I switch windows so I can't see your face or what you're holding up.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine it's the Mario, the Game Boy Mario game because
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
I
it was
think
so good.
I think
Some
Color had
other-
one too.
Game Boy
Some
Color
other
had one as well.
things that are coming to that were in the direct that I don't really have anything to say about are
Oh, the best
Fall
named
Guys?
game ever? Oh, okay. Fall Guys, yes. I like that they have Fall Guys will be coming out summer 2021, only an entire year after it came out on every other console, and I bet nobody is playing Fall Guys anymore.
Well,
Yeah,
it's,
I haven't heard anybody talk about Fall Guys in many months.
I think it was just PC PS4. It's now this summer coming out to Xbox Switch.
It's like
So.
why did they it must have been an exclusivity thing with PS4. I mean, I know it was a PlayStation Plus game, but
At launch. Yeah.
then there was Famicom Detective Club.
TJ is excited for this.
I don't know what it is.
It's two mystery games originally released on Japanese Nintendo. They're redoing as a more modern visual novel.
Also known as the Family Computer.
I don't give a shit.
Famicom.
Then we've also got Capcom Arcade Stadium. You guys ready to pay a bunch of money for fucking arcade versions of games a long time ago?
Yeah, so this is kind of a lot like, it feels a lot like, I'm the only person that loved this and played a ton of it, but the fucking, what was the name of the Xbox 360 arcade? Game Room. Remember Game Room for Xbox 360?
Yeah.
I bought so many Game Room games, and I loved. So the
Are you
Xbox
talking about Family Game Night?
No. Xbox 360 had an Xbox Live title called Game Room, and it was where you could buy old like arcade games, and they would come with like a cabinet, and you would build like your arcade and put like the cabinets down, and they had like the 3D art for all the cabinets. It was like a really cool like little thing, but it didn't really get the support because you'd pay like, $2 or $4, $1.99 or $3.99 for a arcade game, and then you would get the cart and put it in your little arcade that you would have, and like you would have all the little Xbox avatars of all your friends walking around the arcade, and as you like did challenges in games, you would unlock like little pets that would like be running around in your arcade, so you'd have your little like Q*bert guy hopping around and stuff if you unlock it. It was a really really cool thing. I loved it. It was one of my favorite things, and I had so many games, and I actually remember it like being one of the times I actually like got way into like old games, because they had like Atari games. Like we played Yar's, like Adam and I played Yar's Revenge and would like trade high scores. Like it was like, this actually feels like what I was supposed to be doing, like, and enjoying these games, and I liked it. But it didn't get support. I mean, like, you didn't get a lot of stuff.
I've looked up the Wikipedia, and this is the sentence, and it makes perfect sense to what you're describing here. And it says Microsoft promised at least 1,000 virtual arcade cabinets over the subsequent 3 years following the game's release, which was in March 2010. Despite Microsoft's promise, there has not been any new games or other content since Game Pack 13 on December 22nd, 2010. So they said, for the next 3 years, we're going to keep releasing new games. And they made it almost an entire year. And they said, this is not worth our time.
It was really fun while it lasted. I mean, like, they would put out a new game pack. You could check them out. You could try every game for free. I think you had like a certain amount of like goes on a game to try it and see if it would be something you'd be interested in. And I think, honestly, Spanky, they originally had planned this to be some sort of microtransaction thing. They never got it to go off. Like, the idea was you could pay like 10 Microsoft points, like a quarter, to play a game if you didn't want to buy it outright. But that never really took off. So it just sucks, because I really liked it. And I'm really pissed too, because I don't think I can even download it anymore on my Xbox 360.
So also in the direct, there was
no. I want to talk about Capcom Arcade Stadium. So just a couple things. So Capcom Arcade Stadium is the same kind of thing, actually. It has like the little things, but it has stuff that I believe the Xbox Game Room didn't have, which is it has like the rewind features and the fast,
Mhm.
like all those things. So that's really cool if you're playing arcade games. So you can actually beat some of the bullshit levels in some of these arcade games.
Yeah, the ones that were just designed to be quarter eaters.
Yeah, the quarter eater levels. And you'll be able to do that. So that's really cool. Also, they're doing that microtransaction based. You get 1943 for free. Everyone gets it, so it's free to download. And make sure, actually, it's too late. If you're listening to this live, I think you can get it, but it's probably already too late. But they have Ghouls and Goblins or whatever is having like a 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary or something at this point. And so I think to the end of February, it's free as well. And it'll cost money. So you can get two free arcade games with it. Would I get into the other ones? Probably not. They got some Street Fighter titles. But the library isn't huge right now. But I think the idea is that they'll expand it. It just sucks because I wish there was a centralized place for all this. But every games company was like, now we can do our own thing.
There is Monster Hunter Rise was in the direct,
yes. Yep.
Which
I'm excited for it.
It looks like a Switch game. It's weird looking at like Monster Hunter World and looking at Monster Hunter Rise, which came out afterwards. But the Switch is a mobile console at heart, so it's not as graphically powerful as a PS5.
A couple things, because this is actually more information, because we had information on this before. But Monster Hunter Rise, seems like there's some monster capturing stuff in here where you can ride some monsters, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But this is actually one of 2 Monster Hunters coming out this year for Switch, because they're doing the sequel to Monster Hunter Stories from the 3DS.
Oh yeah, nobody cares about that.
Yeah, I kind of like Monster Hunter Stories.
I know. I remember seeing the trailer for that and being like, "What the fuck is Monster Hunter Stories?"
What was the game called that we played last year sometime?
Monster Puncher.
Monster Puncher.
Mm-hmm.
I called it. Yeah, I called it Monster Puncher.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun to play that with you guys, but like it was very like Epic Games microtransaction-y.
Yeah.
It felt like really tedious and like, oh, if you want to like get better, then you can, pay for Epic points or whatever, or you could play this game every minute of every day to be like one more level higher. And I think it's going to be nice to have a game like Monster Hunter Rise where like it's the same kind of gameplay, but it's not like, there's the progression makes sense and it's not designed to make you pay the money.
Mm-hmm.
They added.
Go ahead. Nope, you go ahead.
I'm moving on. I was just saying they added Super Mario costumes and items to
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, including like a warp pipe that you can put on your island.
Yeah, the warp pipe's cool because like traveling or traversing your island kind of sucks sometimes. But so having like a warp zone where you can go to like, I'm going to go to my orchard or I'm going to go to my, wherever, that would be cool. They're doing Samurai Warriors 5, which is the spin-off series of Dynasty Warriors.
I just can't even believe that like they're still putting those out, you get that. Tales of the Borderlands as well, Tales from the Borderlands, which came out like 4 years ago. Apex Legends will look real shitty on your Switch, but you'll be able to play it in March.
Legend of Mana, a series that I like. I like.
This was the PS1 one, wasn't it? It was PS1.
I know. It looks like, is it like a mobile version that they made that they like? The graphics.
No, you're thinking of
Saga Frontier.
Saga Frontier remastered.
Yeah.
Does not look great either. It's got that like we made a phone game.
Legend of Mana was a PlayStation 1 2D pixel art game, and it looks like it did. Actually, it looks a little better. Like I think they redid the backgrounds, but the characters are still sprites.
But Saga Frontier was also PS1, so yeah.
Outer Wilds coming patch.
Oh, that's a good game.
I need to finish that.
It is a good game. I also need to finish it. It is on Xbox Game Pass, and that's where I was playing it. Miitopia, I think you started talking about, but
Miitopia is a game for people who like Miis, which is the only one I know is Ewan. Ewan loves Miis a lot.
So and I didn't even realize that Miitopia is the 3DS title originally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my guess is they're going to re-release this. It's just a port of the 3DS, but it's going to be $60 instead of $40. Guarantee it.
I definitely can see that. Yeah, Nintendo's likes to play that. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, which everyone was asking for, I guess.
I'm not good at these. Yeah.
What? Oh, yes, the best named game of all time. The people who brought you Octopath Traveler, another incredibly well named game, bring you Project Triangle Strategy, which looks kind of like they're like HD, like 2D isometric, like Octopath art style, but like with what looks to be like a Final Fantasy Tactics style gameplay, which I like. I'm interested in that, but it's also like they're like, it's going to be in 2022. You can play a demo. It's like, okay, well, all right. I'll play a demo for a game that'll be out next year.
I do think that there's something about this because Octopath Traveler was two 8-letter words. This is also 2 8-letter words. They're going to stick with it and they're just going to keep this name.
Yeah.
I know
it.
Triangle Strategy.
We're going to hate the name now.
And like, I mean, name. I'm not going to yuck their yum.
Okay.
Also, I don't know that I've ever cared. Like, for example, there's a video game series that I like whose name has almost nothing to do with anything in it, and it's called Kingdom Hearts.
Never heard of it.
Oh, that's that game that's about those like kingdoms that have their hearts that you have to like the Heartless.
I, as an avid fan and lover of the lore of that shitty game series, could not tell you what Kingdom Hearts is. I have no fucking idea.
It's the heart of.
I don't know, but I just know there's 3 of them. There are actually 3 of them, not the games, the actual whatever the words are.
Oh, we're almost through the whole thing.
More importantly,
Bravely Default 2.
Well, yeah, we knew it was coming.
That's coming out in like next week, so
yep.
They just had another trailer.
Knockout City.
That's the one I wanted to bring up. Knockout City.
I want to play it.
I am interested in Knockout City. So the trailer doesn't really get into actually any detail about what the game is about at all, which is kind of odd because it's like, here's your launch trailer because the game is coming out soon because like, they apparently have like a multiplayer beta open out. Yeah.
May 21st.
So it's like it's what is it? 4-on-4.
It's like if Overwatch was dodgeball.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks like there's also like a lot of like parkour, like a lot of jumping around and like crazy stuff. But it's like literally like I'm reading this person who played like some of the gameplay is like it's kind of neat. Like so like it's like dodgeball. Your enemy will target you and they will throw the ball and you have to like time the catch button, And they said it actually feels like almost like Pong, like where you're trying to like bounce the ball back at them, like if you time it right. And then like it said it reminded him a lot of the remember like in Ocarina of Time when you do the old slash and Ganon shoots the lightning at you and you have to hit it back and then it comes back to you. And
are you talking about Wind Waker where you
maybe
play
Wind Waker, yeah, where you're playing like tennis with the lightning. That's kind of what this game
do it in Ocarina
like.
of Time at when you do the Ganon fight too. And the trick I always did was that the bottle also will swipe it back, and it has a quicker animation time. Mm-hmm. So if anyone's out there still trying to beat Ganon on Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64, here's a hot tip: use an empty bottle instead of the sword to swipe his glowing orb back at him. Works great.
What's next?
Have we missed anything?
No, I think we got a couple more things.
There's World's End Club, which I don't even fucking know what it is anymore. So
Hades Physical Edition.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get that.
Yeah, I haven't played Hades yet, but it's like
I have friends I have friends who like games like platformer and kind of games like that who've told me it is just their favorite game of all time. So
yeah, well, it's a rogue like action platformer that is very much. I've heard that the combat is very satisfying. Like it's just very well done. And
I want to finish
Bastion first. Who did Bastion?
Yeah.
And Transistor and Pyre. All
so you know it's going to be good.
Games are great.
So that's cool that they'll have a physical edition. But World's End Club, can you talk a little bit about that, TJ? So you've played a lot of the Danganronpas and stuff.
Yep. The creator of Danganronpa partnered with the creator of the Zero's Escape games to make
it's like
this
your two favorite series, TJ,
and
coming together.
And then they're taking it and making it something that's neither. So I don't even know what to expect at this point. Because it looks like
kind of like an action platformer.
Yeah, they start the trailer like it looks like these kids are going to be stuck in some sort of bullshit like life or death game, and then like the game's canceled. Now they're like traveling across Japan for whatever reason. So I don't know. It's my guess is they're going to just take some other genre and throw it on its head because that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, like more power to them.
Yeah,
like that'd be cool.
I think they're done with their visual novel hybrids, so they wanted to still have a story, but not play it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I'm like a huge fan of
weeb shit.
Of the idea. No, but like I'm like a huge fan. I've never played those games. I've always wanted to. Like, I'm a huge fan of like the idea of like kind of a murder mystery game. Like,
and you played the Phoenix Wrights, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I played the Phoenix Wright, and it's just fun. Like, trying to. I don't know, but it's cool. I'm glad that they're making more stuff. But I don't think there's anything else to talk about.
No, not really. Not in terms of that stuff.
I think that was it.
I mean,
for the Direct.
That's it for the Direct.
It was a big drop, and everyone was super excited because they got to hear all about all the things that they wanted, like
like Mario and Zelda.
Like getting
we did miss that the Hyrule Warriors sequel, Age of Calamity, is getting DLC, but whatever. If they were going to talk about porting a Zelda, I mentioned this in the pre-show. But yeah, they're going to talk about porting a Zelda. I would have rather them do the Ocarina games in the style of that Link's Awakening remake they did. That would have been what I would have wanted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oracle. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that I love. Oracle of Seasons is one of my favorite Zelda games of all time.
Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons that was Game Boy Color, right?
Game Boy Color partnered with Capcom for the production, but so was Link's Awakening.
If you play it on a Game Boy Advance, there are advanced shops that you can get into for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's their Game Boy Color games, but it can detect if you're on a Game Boy Advance and will let you go to a special shop where you can buy stuff.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's not very useful. But what's neat is that once you beat one of them, it gives you a code where whenever you start the other one, you can enter that and it'll like import your stuff.
I got so upset about that because I had Oracle of Seasons and I was borrowing my buddy's Oracle of Ages. And what I did was I played through one dungeon in one dungeon in the next, and I kept going until I got to the end of the game. And when I found out at the end, you put a password to start a new game in the other, like, fuck.
Yep. And then and then once you've beaten the game, either of the games, with a password, you get a final dungeon, which is pretty cool.
And you fight Twin Rova and then Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Nintendo didn't announce any of that stuff. I think people were a little disappointed with the Direct because it wasn't. I think people wanted a lot more Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 info.
Well, we're still in a pandemic.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's
my thing is that like, I understand people's like, they're getting tired of the pandemic and they want, they like kind of like WandaVision came out and everyone's like really excited for that. And like, there's stuff finally coming out again, movies and shows and things. And
it really like, WandaVision's great and all, but like, can you imagine if they like put all the episodes together into like a 2.5 or 3 hour like mega episode or something, or if like maybe we didn't have to
wait showed it in some kind of place with like a giant TV and really loud.
I just want to say that I fucking like Marvel fans are the worst. Like it's like fucking so brain dead sometimes. Like anyway, man, WandaVision's got like 2 episodes left too. That's almost over.
Yeah,
Disney Plus. I've been watching it.
Cool.
I binged all the available episodes like Thursday, and I really wish I had waited for the other 2 episodes to be available.
Yeah,
so I could just do it all.
Speaking of binges, I've officially made it to the part in my Simpsons binge where the episodes are just bad. Like the show has got, I've gotten through the golden era and I've gotten through the decline, and I'm just at the part of the Simpsons where the episodes are all bad now. I'm halfway through season 12. And I've seen the season 12 Christmas episode, and I've seen the season 12 Halloween episode, and my whole entire goal of this, because I was just gonna stop after like season 10 and say that's the show, it's done now. Is I want to see every episode that Dankamus has made a remix of. And the Is Cat Now is in the end of season 12. It's like season 12, episode 20. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just watch 12 seasons. And season 12 is kind of hard to get through. Like, the episodes now are just really stupid and bad. This is the part where Futurama has started taking off. It's about to get its renewal for seasons 3 and 4. Everyone's liking that, and Groening and the rest of the writers just do not give a shit about The Simpsons anymore. Is where I'm at in the show. So that's been my experience with The Simpsons, is that it was good, and this is a controversial take, I know, but it was good, and now it's not. That's my take on this.
We've got you're an impartial data, right? Because the rest of us watched it as kids, so it could just be like, oh, the ones that we grew up with and have nostalgia for it, those are the ones that are great. But nope.
Yeah.
We're here to say no, they're actually worse.
One thing that was weird, there was an episode, I think it was called Grift. No, maybe it wasn't called Grift of the Magi.
Yeah, it was. Are you talking about the one from where they get the Furby type thing, or are you talking about Are you talking about one where they're snowed in the school?
No, I'm talking. No. I don't remember the name of it, but it was Bart and Homer. Bart gets a magic kit and starts basically he tries to do magic for money and can't, but people give him money out of pity or whatever. So then him and Homer decide to just start grifting people, and they put icing on a pillow and have Bart pretend to be blind and bump into someone and drop the cake, which is actually just the pillow. And anyway, that episode has a part where I think it's that episode. It's in season 12 somewhere, where literally Michael Jackson comes up and is like, it's Michael Jackson. It's not voiced by Michael Jackson, but it is Michael Jackson. And that's the joke, is that it's Michael Jackson. And it's like, why is it okay to have literally Michael Jackson on screen, but you have to take off the episode where he did a voice cameo for a character that wasn't Michael Jackson? What the fuck, Disney?
It's almost like
you
Disney
have no
only
standard for this.
It's almost like they only remove episodes after it's blown up on Twitter and a bunch of people are mad at them.
It's probably algorithmic. It's just
it's
figure
almost
out which episode is causing discourse and delete it.
Well, it's almost like Disney would take a director that has made them over grossing $1 billion on 2 movies, and then fire him from the sequel over some tweets he deleted 4 years ago.
Yeah, and then later quietly hire
him back
after
because
everything's
that
died
was really,
down a little bit.
Really stupid decision, because he immediately went on to go make a sequel for their rival DC. It's just what the fuck are you doing? Fucking A, dude. Anyway, I just think it's funny. And then they fired Gina Carano just for saying what we're all thinking.
She's not going down without a fight.
Oh, she's a fighter.
Yeah,
so
the
that's
Daily
a headline
Wire,
I saw.
Benjamin
It's
Shapiro.
She's going to be in Ben Shapiro's movie, where this short but still very buff cowboy is going to teach her how to be a real woman. I don't know what his movie's going to be, but it's
gonna be called Dry Pussies.
It's going to be actually, my wife's pussy is not dry.
No, it's going to be a Western called It's Dry Noon. episode title.
Wet ass P word.
Wet ass P word.
Oh my god, what a fucking rube.
It's dry noon.
It's dry noon. That's what his wife says.
Is the Gina Carano doing a movie with, like, is that just a joke, or is that a thing that?
No, she has
happened?
signed a movie deal with Ben Shapiro's company, The Daily Wire.
But why? I mean,
I don't know.
Because she can't get hired by other normal companies because she says some like anti-Semitic stuff on Twitter.
Does he actually make movies?
No.
Okay.
No, he hasn't, but he wants to.
Okay.
No, the co-founder of the company who like started the podcast with him or something like that has a film degree, I think. And I think that's as far as that goes.
Okay. So this is like an I'll make my own casino kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think there's a really important thing to know about this that I don't think is, but actually Ben Shapiro actually tried to be a screenwriter and failed.
Hmm.
So now,
that's
now
why he doesn't like Hollywood.
Yeah, let's see this if we can get. I'm just looking up this. This is on Indie 100 here. Of all the figures in the American conservative movement, or better or worse, Ben Shapiro is one of the most fascinating.
I know I've read his his Wikipedia biography, and it's like he went to college at age 17 or 16 and left school early and shit.
So let's make no illusion. Even though the man himself Shapiro comes from a privileged background. He grew up in L.A., where both of his parents worked in Hollywood. His father was a composer, and his mother worked as an executive for a TV company. His cousin, Mara Wilson, was in Matilda. You can tell that they have very different opinions. He went to private high school in LA, graduated at 16, went to University of Los Angeles and Harvard Law School, and graduated political science at 23. He set up his own media consulting firm and written syndicated columns for national newspapers when he was just 17-year-old and written books. But most of his books were this kind of bullshit that you would imagine he would be into. Was this 2004 book was published, Brainwashed, How Universities Indoctrinate America's Youth.
So is that like an adventure story? Some YA
despite
stuff?
this, he could have been a very different. Despite his overwhelming success in political commentary, there was a brief period where he was working on being a screenwriter. There's a clip shared by video editor and YouTuber Vic Berger. He had interviewed Connie Martinson in 2011. He was promoting his book. At the time, Shapiro was promoting his fourth book, which was titled Primetime Propaganda, The True Hollywood Story of How the Left Took Over Your TV.
Okay.
Oh my God, give me this fucking idea of what the script is about. There we go. So we go. According to the aforementioned
It's almost
book,
like the right wing has no appreciation for the arts, and Hollywood is full of people who have an appreciation for the arts.
he graduated from Harvard Law School. He began interviewing TV executives about liberalism in the television world. This is where he met Leonard Goldberg, who was a former head of program for ABC and once president of Fox. According to Shapiro, Goldberg proposed he write a pilot episode for a show set at the Harvard Law School, which he accepted. Shapiro wrote a spec script that reportedly well received, and he began the process of finding an agent. It wasn't long after he got a phone call from a television agent who, according to Shapiro, informed him that he'd been blacklisted. This comes from his book, Primetime Propaganda, saying, one of our agents Googled you and found your website. I'm not sure we can represent you because he thinks your political views will make it impossible for you to find a job in this town. It's not blacklisted, just you're a dick
an asshole.
and nobody will want to work with you.
Oh, well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Uh-huh.
Why would Hollywood do this to me?
This still doesn't answer what the dramedy was like and why did it get was it canceled because of his views or because it was not good.
Yeah. If the only record we have of this phone call taking place is from Ben Shapiro, I'm going to guess that it was probably just not good.
It's almost like you need to be able to understand other people's point of views to make something that's good.
Yeah. It's almost like art and entertainment are very focused on empathy and
It's also really interesting that basically he wrote this book, Primetime Propaganda, How the Left Took Over Your TV, shortly after his spec script was rejected.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's almost like
he's a tiny
he got rejected because he wasn't very good. And then he was like, it's a conspiracy against me because I am conservative.
That doesn't sound like conservative Hollywood.
Definitely has nothing to do with the fucking quality of his script. Release Ben Shapiro. I'm calling you out. Release the fucking script.
Release the Ben Shapiro cut.
Put the script out. I want the Ben Shapiro script. Put it out. And then if it's good, which I'm sure since you're a good writer, it must be, then there's nothing to worry about. And yeah, sure, Hollywood screwed you over because you're conservative and what you wrote was good. I don't see why not. So release the tape.
It's almost like someone else who failed out of art school because they weren't that good. And then started a whole movement.
Yeah, just a whole thing. It's weird how these people like really want to be part of the secret liberal cabal, and then when they get rejected, that's when they get all conservative.
Well, and like the Gina Carano stuff is that, like, we even talked about this before, is that she was really smooth brained, like Twitter. Like she was talking about like, don't be a sheep, like, and take the vaccine.
I think it was first they'll ask us to wear a mask to cover our face. And they'll ask us to wear a mask to cover our eyes or something.
Yeah,
like
some fucking insane bullshit that she was peddling.
And then she had to like make fun of having your pronouns in your bio.
Yeah, and it was like she's walking a real fine line here. That kind of sucks because I really kind of liked her as like I'm in a UFC. And like people are like, oh, she's a terrible actress, and I'm like, I mean, she wasn't bad. She was good. Like,
she didn't have range, but like,
exactly.
She plays one character very well.
As long as she's playing a character who is a tough girl who beats people up, she's good at it because that's kind of her real life persona.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like that, like female.
Well, actually, it turned out her persona is a tough girl who is really keen on comparing everything to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
That's what her character really turned out to be.
I don't get why people that are famous and like working with giant brands like Disney, why they even have social media. Like, just fucking, if you think crazy shit, just shut up about it.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to say, you definitely need to have social media, but what you need to have is a social media that's run by like a fucking publicist that only posts like, here's my cool new movie coming out. Here's some clips, like sharing. Like, that's what you need. You don't need to have your own person. Nobody gives a shit about your personal opinions. Or if people do, I mean, you're allowed, like, again, like we say this, like, you know, like what was the famous LeBron James, you know, shut up and play basketball. Like, that's bullshit. Like, people are allowed to have opinions, but also you're allowed to have people dislike you for your shitty opinions.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's some fucking like cabal against you.
Well, and it's just like, you're allowed to have opinions, but when you broadcast them, you're just inviting a lot of potential negative problems. Like,
exactly. That's why you got to get yourself set up like fucking oh boy, what's his name? Like Russell Wilson, you know, the football player, and just have like the most blandest fucking social presence of all time, or like any of these like huge, like LeBron James is even this like way. Like his Twitter is just like him being like work perseverance, like all this just like work ethic 32, like it's just the most basic, like get super brandy with it, but like I don't know.
Oh yeah, go 1998 inspirational posters, got it.
Yeah, exactly. Like unless you're like a comedian whose job it is to write for a living,
or like a journalist or something, Twitter. Like if you have knowledge about like these things, sure, have an informed opinion, but I'm willing to bet that like most like actors and athletes aren't any more knowledgeable than just your average person.
No, but they think that their opinions matter more because they're famous.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that's how it works.
That's one of the things I think is funny is that like Ben Shapiro types, the Ted Cruzes of the world, that kind of shit. They'll be like,
Oh,
Hollywood just wants to tell you how to think. By the way, here's my Twitter where I tell you how to think. Please follow.
Oh,
Buy
don't
my
you
book
just
where I
love
tell you
how
what to
Ted Cruz got into
Are you talking about
multi-day?
Cancun Cruise?
Well, before that, he was, I'm going to waste time fighting with Seth Rogen on Twitter because I don't have anything better to do as a fucking congressman.
Dude,
The whole
social media.
this year for Ted Cruz has been fucking wild.
Yeah.
Not been good. Ted's had a rough go of it. But he'll still get reelected because it's Texas.
Yeah. Well,
Although I don't know, I feel like the optics of Texans are like millions of people without power and having historical issues with their infrastructure, and him being like, you know what, I'm going to go to Cancun this weekend.
well, and
Might
But
not.
also,
I
Ted
think
Cruz can go.
it's-
Ted Cruz can go to Texans and be like, abortion guns, and then they'll just immediately write him the checks and
Well,
vote.
I'm going to tell.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
going
was
to tell you
gonna
this.
say, like, I think it's much more likely that he get primaried than to lose to a Democrat.
well,
But
I would
I
say
don't
that.
know what the chances of that happening either.
I would say that he almost lost to Beto O'Rourke.
Beto.
Beto O'Rourke, who really sucked and was boring as hell. And if you almost lose to basically just a white guy that
John
is not-
Ossoff.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's only slightly more boring than John Ossoff. And
it's like Ted Cruz, I'd worry. Like you don't get the freebie anymore. You actually have to campaign now.
Yeah.
In Texas, and so he sucks. And I wish Ted Cruz a very lose the next election. That's
Well,
what I would.
there's like you remember you don't have to get Texans to vote Ted Cruz out because there's a shitload of people leaving California and heading for Austin because they're
That's true.
sick of
It's
California.
much cheaper to live there, and they have a lot of
Especially
Hollywood
now when
productions
everybody's
out there.
working from home anyway. Like,
Mhm.
Also, you've got to remember that a lot of people probably died in the power outages, and then our Democrat cabal can just use those dead people votes to
Oh,
vote
yeah.
That's
for
true.
Democrats.
That people will vote for Democrats. Definitely.
yeah, it's like I forget what game it was, but
It was that
you know,
Simpsons
for
episode.
every enemy you kill, if you're a necromancer, you could just raise them up, and then I think it's
Yeah, I
Heroes
did
of the Storm.
appreciate the Simpsons episode where Sideshow
With
Bob
Rush Limbaugh.
rigged the mayor election by getting dead people to vote for Republicans.
Yeah.
But that had Birch Barlow,
Oh yeah, Rush Limbaugh died. Rest in peace, bitch.
The-
voiced by Rush Limbaugh. In
He
that.
was not voiced by Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, I guarantee you he was.
I bet it was.
No.
He'd do anything for a paycheck. You know, those cheap radio hosts are.
Yeah, voiced by Harry Shearer.
All right.
Not voiced by Rush Limbaugh.
But you know who? Do you know what? Family Guy had Rush Limbaugh on, and he
Of
did
course
his
they
own
did.
voice.
I'm certain that fucking a late episode of Simpsons probably did too.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Rush Limbaugh was a pretty good.
Are you going to
pretty
say
good,
person?
No, I was gonna say
Hero.
pretty good corpse. No,
Recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
no. If I remember correctly, on Family Guy, his character was like secretly super Democrat. Was like the plot. It was a good sport about it, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Like,
almost like he's a psychopath that doesn't believe
It's
anything,
almost like he
and
had
he's
no
just
fucking.
So,
doing what
I've
got
just
him
gone
work.
to this. I've gone to simpsons.fandom.com, the wiki for The Simpsons, and I've gone to the Birch Barlow page. I've scrolled down to comments, and 2 days ago, there's a comment from someone that says, "Why did he start trending?"
Why did Birch Barlow start trending?
Yeah, and I guess this person just didn't know that Rush Limbaugh had died.
Man, how lucky to be the person that was able to bring that joy to that person. Let
Listen,
them know for the
just-
first time.
I think that the takeaway here is to live your life in such a way that after you die, the entire internet doesn't start tweeting hashtag rest in piss. That's like, if you've made it that far, you've accomplished a lot in life.
If the vast majority of people are glad that you're dead, or at least indifferent, you've probably made some mistakes.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about Korra?
Yeah, I think it's about time.
I think we should. I
mean, we did talk about a tough girl who beats up people, so let's talk about the better one.
Yeah. So Korra started tweeting some whack shit.
Oh no.
And then she was like, the spirits are all like this and Fire Nation that.
They're like, Earth Nation benders been like this, but Fire Nation benders been like this. And then she was canceled.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what she tweeted was, "There's no war in Ba Sing Se."
Yeah.
There is no coronavirus in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah. So, where were we at? We were on.
I have no idea.
I'm just
Season 3, episode 5. 5 through 8.
Season 3, the metal,
I'm on
metal
the
clan.
Wikipedia, not on the fucking, what is it? Fan gas? What's the fan? What's the website?
Fandom.
Fandom.
Wiki fandom site where it's like 800 chapters long title.
Yeah.
So this is
The Wikipedia was just like, here's a paragraph.
Exactly. That's all we need to talk about. We don't need to get into too much detail about the old Corna.
Corna?
Whatever.
Coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
So this episode is we meet the Metal Clan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They arrive. So they've left like
They've got
Boston
white hoods
with
and
all the people that fucking they rescued from the fucking Earthbender bad guys that are still around. So it's the town called Zaofu. And Suyin Beifong, voiced by Anne Heche, is Lynn's sister, half-sister. Because we all know, hey, fucking, what's her name? Toph may have been a cop, but she fucked around.
Yes, she did.
That's good, at least. They got that right. So, Toph fucked around, had a couple kids with some different dudes, she lived her life.
Yeah, of course.
And mother of Opal, who was one of her kids who doesn't metal bend, but turns out she could airbend. And so she's like, let's train Opal. And then Lynn is like, my sister fucking sucks.
Yeah.
She hates her sister. And it's like, she seems nice. But then you're like, okay, where does the... Like, I was like, okay, so her sister's got to be like secretly evil, right? Or something's going to happen because... It's like one of those things.
Nope.
No.
Turns out her sister just
a real family
got
issues.
away with shit as a kid and grew up to be.
I mean, it's one of those. It's one of those
person.
things. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this has got to be the evil twin or the evil sibling or whatever, and then you realize, wait a minute, we've had the evil sibling the whole time.
Yeah. We've had
it's like when Bender had in Futurama when Bender had his evil doppelganger, but it was actually the good doppelganger with the goatee.
Or the Treehouse of Horror episode.
Oh yeah, Bart
has his evil twin, but it turned out he was the evil one the whole time.
Yeah,
the left or sinister.
That's
twin.
a good one.
Yes. And so you don't see that much, but then we also see Air Temple Island's like, I got a new guy showing up who's like, I want an airbender. And it's the fucking evil guys here.
It's bad guy, yeah.
It's the bad guy.
Mr. Obviously evil.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm the most evil looking guy.
I've just learned how to airbend. And then I like how he's like, I'm gonna infiltrate Air Temple Islands and try and like play coy and figure out where Korra is and stuff. But what I'm going to do is be like a rip shit awesome airbender immediately and be extremely suspicious. Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you should probably just like not own everybody, immediately, and then maybe people will be like, oh yeah, he could be a real guy. Let's send him to Korra instead.
He is like a new airbender, right? Then he got his powers while he was in prison.
Well, he was self-training for probably quite some, for however many months since the convergence. Yeah.
And I think even before that, he had been like studying the craft, like the theory of it, just to like know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seems to know a lot of lore about history of the Ava universe, or whatever planet they call that planet.
Mm-hmm.
The Ava universe is where those people live.
Terra planet? I don't know. Anyway, so we go into the next episode, and then Su Yin's like, I can teach Korra, I can teach you battle bending. And what's his name? The cool guy who's my favorite character.
Bolin.
Bolin's like, I always thought metal bending's cool. I don't know. He's like, I love it. He's very cute. He's like, I don't know. I don't want to try. But he's like,
he wants to learn, but he's afraid to fail.
Yeah, basically. It's very, very cute. And he's like, and they're like, no, you can try it. And he's learning.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but in this episode, or maybe it was end of the previous one, they mentioned how Korra will always like to learn metal bending, and they're like, oh yeah, you could be the first metal bending avatar. Didn't she metal bend in the first season to get out of a trap from
She did, yes.
Yeah. Did she just forgot about that?
A wizard did it.
Wait, what did she metal bend in the first
Didn't
season?
she get out of a fucking like
the prison that Amon put her in? Amon's people put her in.
No. It made it seem like she was going to metal bend. She used her thing, her like
she
armband
like
or whatever,
floated so that she wasn't grounded.
Hang from the ceiling of it, and then whenever they hit it with the shock stick, it didn't get her. So whenever they opened the door, she jumped out.
That was how she got out.
She didn't actually metal bend, but she was talking about I could be the first metal bending avatar, and she couldn't get out.
But I do remember when that happened. I was like, oh shit, this is where she's gonna metal bend, and then
no, she actually learns it here. But then you learn like Lynn's like basically has to like I love Lynn Beifong as a character because she's just anger lady. She's just an avatar of anger, and she's just like, I'm so mad about everything. And my sister, and they're like, you know what? You should go to therapy. And she's like, never. And he's like, well, maybe you go to an acupuncture. And she's like, fine. And she goes to the acupuncture guy, and he's like, I'm going to need more needles. Like, it's fucking crazy. She's crazy. And then she like gets mad and shoots all the needles out of herself, and then like leaves like halfway through and is like all fucked up. And then she goes back, and you learn that like, the reason why she hates her sister so much is because like she was a cop, and basically Su Yin was like hanging out with the fucking triad basically, and stealing.
Yep.
And she had like to basically, her mom had to like cover for her.
She just liked to party.
And then also she got the facial scars that she had for the rest of her life from her sister, who attacked her when she was trying to like arrest her. It's pretty fucked up. But they do reconcile in this episode, and they're like, all right.
She's like, oh, I guess the scars do make me look cool, so thank you.
Anyway, Zahir is immediately found out. And they have like a huge chase, and the crew escape Republic City, basically. And he enters the spirit world and figures out where the Avatar is. And so, oops, he's coming for the Avatar. Then we have like a fucking episode where like let's see what's going on with the airbenders and the air temple, and that's it basically.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot that actually happened other than the airbenders really weren't learning from Tenzin at all, and then Tenzin pulls a whole drill sergeant thing, and they still weren't doing shit. And then Jinora and what's her boy toy? Kai.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Fart Boy.
No. Jinora and Kai get get captured when they were playing with wild air bison, and then
by
all
poachers.
Yep. Then all the airbenders. I was gonna say avatars. All the avatars.
All the avatar.
All the airbending people go ahead and fucking get him back, including the one guy who got his head shaved.
Yeah, that's my favorite part, where he's like, he got basically tricked into shaving his head, and then he feels the thing coming at him from the back of his head, and
shaving your head makes you feel the air currents and whatnot. And someone's like, "Oh, do we have to shave your head?" No, shaving your head is a personal choice. Does anyone else want to do it?
What? Yeah, nobody else gets their head shaved. He's like the guy who like volunteers. He's like, sure, I'll do it. And then like everybody else will follow after me, and I'll get the party started. And then they shave his head, and he's like, "Any out of the take?" He's like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, that's fine." And he's like, "What?" But then it turns out it was a good call because he actually felt it was beneficial to his bending. So
did he dodged a net, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. He's like, I can feel it coming, so I moved my head, dodged it. And then we get to the last episode that we watched, which was back in Zafu. They're metal bending, whatever. But then, this whole time Lynn's like, we gotta leave. We gotta get back to Republic City where we can protect Korra. And her sister's like, this is the most protected city in the world. The Titanic is the safest vessel of all time.
It's unsinkable.
Nothing bad could happen here. I mean, she's kind of right. Like we've seen, like the fucking city is like basically a bunch of metal flowers that close up at night, so it's like completely secure.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, unless there's a quote unquote secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
There's maybe a compromised person in a high position of power within the city.
Oh yeah, it's basically a Jafar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the advisor to her is actually turns out, I guess, a bad guy for reasons
a real
that are
little
not
finger.
Explained. Like I don't think we ever see him again.
I don't remember.
I haven't
watched forward
guy who was
in a while.
Fuck this shit. You're like, fuck the Avatar for no reason. I'm gonna fucking get her captured.
Let's just assume they gave him money or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, because he's not like a fucking cushy life. Like it seems like all these like metal bending people are treated like fucking kings and queens, and he's like in the inner upper circle. Like he's living life well. Anyway,
now in the big battle with everybody and the so they were able to grab the Avatar, make her unconscious, and they were fighting off by having a moat of lava around their little stronghold. And in the midst of all the chaos, you've got the two metal bending sisters that are going to drop down from above, but they need someone to stop the combustion bender. The Explosion Man Jr. or whatever her name is.
Sparky Boom Lady.
Exactly.
Pewin?
Something. But Bolin just shoots this one pebble in a perfect shot and just gets her, and that gives the Metal Sisters enough time to get Miss Avatar back again. That fight was pretty badass. All right, are we gonna go 5 episodes to the end of the season? Or are we gonna split this 3 and 2?
I've already seen them all.
Let's do 5. Yeah, let's
just fucking do
let's
them
just finish the season. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. 5 episodes. So you're gonna watch episodes
9 through 13.
9 through 13. So 9 through the end of this season. This is basically Korra fighting the quote Red Lotus, which is the like 4 like
commies.
The bad guys.
It's bad commies.
I'm so excited for next season. Not just,
by the way.
Not just the hair, but also the voice of the quote unquote. Well, I'll say antagonist. I don't want to say villain.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to remember what I watched years ago. So,
all right. Take a look and the end of book 3.
So outside of rewatching the 3rd season of Cobra Kai again, I did actually watch. I'm subscribed to the College Humor paid service Dropout, and I watched the whole first season of their Dimension 20 Fantasy High. So now I'm getting into watching D&D, and it's making me want to play it.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. D&D's good.
I know Corridor Digital's doing a D&D series where they're gonna like do special effects and shit, and like I assume they're just gonna improvise shit and then later go on and actually kind of animate some of this stuff. But yeah, watching D&D is fun. I like to listen to the Adventure Zone boys.
I'm one of those people that can't watch D&D.
Yeah, I can't pay attention.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that I've played so much as I just want to play. I'd rather play.
Yeah, my thing, like, I've tried to listen to Adventure Zone 6 million times, and I'm just, you rolled a... And now we're at this thing that you don't know. I'm just like, oh, we're at a castle now? Like, when did that happen? And I just get completely lost. Because as soon as they start talking about, like, I'm going to roll this. What did you roll? Do you have that spell? What spell are you using? Okay, but then this guy does this, and then he jumps over this thing and I just start tuning out until they start talking about, like, the shit that's actually going on again.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, so now we're in this car chase. And I'm like, they're not cars. When did we get cars?
They're battle wagons. Come on. It's fantasy.
The Battle Wagon episode of Adventure Zone is literally when I stopped listening to the podcast, because I'm just like, when did this happen? When did this happen?
Yeah. Anyway, so good old D&D. Be nice to be able to play it in person. I'm playing tomorrow night with my group. Yeah. And we do it over Roll20, and it's not
each other's mouths.
No, well, we're doing it over Roll20 because we're not. It's a pandemic.
I have an old Roll20 account. I haven't done anything with it.
Honestly, it might be worth going. We might actually be able to go in now because the case rates have dropped so much. Like, it's really getting better out there.
Spanky's distracting everybody with a kitten.
A kitten? I think it's time to end.
All right.
It is time.
She's just a bundle of joy. And if you want to see this adorable black and white, beautiful Bambi kitten.
Yeah, is that like a tuxedo?
Oh, sorry.
No, you can see her. If you can see her head, she's got like the brown.
Full of.
Definitely got that manic kitten energy.
Yep. Full of knife fingers that kittens have. Little needle claws.
Yeah. I forgot how their teeth too. Their teeth are like tiny little needles.
Oh,
the first time she bit me, she drew blood, and I was just like, I hate this.
I have a pair of sandals that they're like a weird foam thing, and they got a ton of tooth marks in it from a kitten I used to have.
My favorite thing about May is that
it's gonna be May.
I don't know if I could. There we go. She has one singular toe bean that's black.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's a real cutie. And if you want to see more, that is discord.bornintheeighties.net. Definitely that works.
.co.uk.info. .com. .sex.
And I'm May of May.
You can find me at matthegmusic.com. matthegmusic.com. Working on some secret projects. You'll see.
Secret projects.
Bye, everyone. I'm stopping. Bye. I'm stopping the stream now.
All right, boys, I'm back.
Spanky, I need that one eventually.
Audio now. Hey, your stream seems to be a lot better, Matt.
Oh, the one before. Although, why is it picture-in-picture on that one?
Oh, I can't hear you.
I love this one. It's so
I love the Discord has two audios. I think one is notifications and one is the voice chat. So give
I'm trying to line it up, but I can't because I have to squat down.
Hey Matt, try that one on the back camera too.
Oh, now I can hear you because Discord's like, let's have two audios.
Do what?
Check this shit out. All right, I look normal. No, I don't.
So anyway, how's it going, everybody?
You know, it's we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and people can't keep their dicks to themselves. It's great.
Wait, what happened with
Can't keep
people's
their-
dicks?
Did we start the podcast?
Was there another news story that I missed?
No. I mean, there probably was, but I missed it too. There's always something with someone's dick.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm chatting to people.
Stop
Ooh,
chatting.
I'm blinded by the light.
Maybe if you
Remember when
chatted
I-
more, you wouldn't get
so-
kicked out of so many guilds.
So I edited. I was editing last week's, and I will say this: Spanky was so much louder than everyone else, and it was great. I'm
I
just
like
making.
the energy that I bring.
No, I think what it was is I don't know what was up with the room that you were in, but it was like a fucking echo chamber. How does TJ have a better audio setup than you?
Oh, I think it's because I had my door shut.
yeah.
Right.
'Cause
Good
I had
news.
the kitten in.
Well,
I have
TJ's
sweatpants.
TJ's microphone sounds good. Oh yeah, the sweatpants are helping deaden the sound too, for sure.
Yeah.
I bet. I'm talking right into my crotch.
I like to mention that TJ has sweatpants and a tie.
Yep.
For those
Business
listening.
casual.
All right, well, we gotta get started. Boys. Welcome to Born in the Episode.
Welcome to Board in the episode.
We're fucked.
Let me get the clacker.
We're fucked.
Take two.
already.
It's episode 320. No, 344.
We had
Four
episode
something.
420
No,
like a month
4
ago.
24. Right? Let me look at the Audacity and see what I named this file. Okay, 424.